Just like wherever, whatever state we are in.
Oh yeah.
In like a minute. That's very good for me, what you are doing. Naked Barbie. Naked Barbie would like to welcome you to the Liquid Courage Happy Hour with my very good friend that I love very much, Emily Bette Ricards. She's would like to welcome you to the Liquid Courage Happy Hour with my I gotta just mute this. It always takes me a minute. Like I've been doing this long enough now that I kind of know what I'm doing, but I still struggle. Hi, everybody. Oh my God, it's so exciting. Welcome to the Liquid Courage Happy Hour. And this Barbie says, hello, Barbie. Barbie is having a hard time in quarantine. She's really struggling. Emily's doing great, but Barbie is really having
I'm just trying to make sure Barbie gets through the day every day, you know? She doesn't have to put on clothes anymore because who's really watching?
I mean, who's watching? I also feel like that's a really good kind of like metaphor for where we are right now, because it just feels like this week I'm having a harder time than I've been having previously. This store is open, let's close it. with indoor life, but where you are, you know, an undisclosed location, you're in a very outdoorsy place, so you get lots of outdoorsy time.
We're in the outdoors a lot here. It's kind of all we got going for us at the moment. Besides a Spagliato I was about to call it Monday, so that actually really does say more about my current state.
That's the essence of what's going on right now. What day is it? Someone said today it's day.
It is. It's day.
I also tweeted something about this yesterday. It was, I don't remember the exact wording, but it was like kind of leaning into, you know, even if you're not really into like Eastern philosophy, like kind of leaning into like the concept of being present. Because really that's all we have right now is like, we can't plan anything. We don't know when we can travel again. We don't know when we can go back to work. So like, rather than letting that drive despair, just being like, just try to be as present as you can be. You know?
There's a word called santosha, which we talk a lot about in yoga, which is like the present moment of contentment.
Ooh.
Contentment, and that word for me is for sometimes just like it just curtains down on me in a way. I feel like my shoulders relax and there's an ease to it.
Santosha.
And some days I want to throw that word out the window and light everything on fire. That's okay.
You dirty hippie. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, tonight is a very special night because we're doing essentially like it's not a home and away, it's an away and an away, because Emily is here with me for this happy hour to support International Rescue Committee. And then we're going to play games with Jackbox with some of our other very good friends, Stephen Mel, Cassandra Regina Mel, also to raise money for rescue. They are donating a massive amount of money to the IRC today. It's a really big deal and we're thrilled to be a part of it. The IRC is a great organization. For those of you who don't know it, I've supported it once before in our happy hours. They are an organization that works with displaced people around the world. They focus specifically on women and girls that have been the victims of targeted or war-based violence. And they also have been very active along the American-Mexican border with all of the refugees there. They do extraordinary work. They are highly efficient. As you guys know, I always check everything out on Charity Navigator. They have a perfect rating on Charity Navigator. Almost all of what you give them goes directly to the people that they help. And just a tiny bit is used for administrative purposes and things like that, supplies. And they are really active in helping displaced communities around the world deal with the COVID crisis. Remember, everyone's telling us to shelter in place and wash our hands. If you're a refugee, if you're homeless, if you're displaced, you cannot do any of those things. You cannot socially distance. You cannot get a mask. So they are doing incredible work for the people that are not as fortunate as we are to be able to shelter in our homes and talk on Zoom with our friends. And I love them and I love their work. I've been working with them for a long time and I'm really happy that you guys are here and we can talk about it. And this is my lovely, lovely, lovely bestie, Emily. We are not in the same place and I miss her. We all miss her very much.
My heart, this was supposed to be fun, okay?
No, you came for fun. And what did I give you? Feels. I gave you feelings. I gave you feelings and this sad quarantine ponytail that I can't figure out.
Dressed up for you. This is
what's that?
I dressed up for you, so this is.
You look amazing. You look amazing. You always look amazing.
You look amazing.
So people know at home, this is going to be an abbreviated happy hour so that we can get ready to do the Jackbox hour. So don't think of it as a short happy hour. I think of it as a longer one in 2 different places. We'll be here on my YouTube for this, and then we'll be on Twitch and Mixer and YouTube and Facebook, all at Jackbox Games for the games. And they're gonna be great. We've played these games before.
Yes.
And typically it is very, very R-rated. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how well we hold it together today.
I asked how R-rated I could be. I've made signs for myself that are going to be on the background here that are like, don't swear as much as you think you should swear, and like, please don't fuck around so much. And see, I have a problem already.
F-bombs are the best bombs. That's what I'm doing.
They are.
They are. They really are. That's their fun. They're F-bombs and they're fun bombs. So Emily and I are making our favorite drink. We have had so many dozens and hundreds of these drinks
together.
Yes.
Multiple.
We make them. It is our favorite drink to drink together, and I'm so thrilled. Guys, we can see the chat, and thanks everybody for waving and saying hi to us, and everyone's very excited that you're here, Emily. So thank you.
I'm excited that I'm here. You know, I didn't move. Apparently, hearing you say all those platforms, we're going to be in a lot of places at once.
We are. Well, you know, that's how we get down, though. We're peripatetic.
I get tired.
A lot of places at one time. The last time Emily and I saw each other, we were in New York looking at, this is when we could be outdoor kids, and we were in New York watching plays. It was so fun.
Oh, the theater, my biggest love is.
We did really well on that trip. It was too short.
Oh,
if we had known that was the last time we were going to be in New York for the year 2020, I think we would have stayed a little longer.
You know what we should do is we should write a template of what it would have been like if we knew.
Right, what we would have done, like what.
No, I don't know how much we would have changed it. We
did very well. We ate so much sushi, and we had big juicy martinis everywhere we went.
We saw so many shows.
We saw as much theater as we could possibly see in the period of time that we had.
Settled in a lot of booths, which is always my favorite part of New York.
Yeah, we drank coffee. You ate kale out of a bag with your hands, like a rat.
They do that. That sounds like something I would do.
Gundam rabbit, like a transformer.
They let you see the best of me.
I always see the best of you. Whatever I've seen of you is the best of you. I want to explain the drink that we're making today. We've made a couple of variations on this drink already, everybody, because this is a variation on the Negroni. It's called the Negroni Sbagliato. It's Sbagliato, Sbagliato. And what that word means is mistaken Negroni, or like whoopsie, because the lore goes that a bartender was making a Negroni and either he didn't have any gin or he mistakenly put in some Prosecco. And then the person, he loved it, and the person he served it to loved it, and it became its own drink. What's great about this drink is it's like low alcohol by volume, so you can drink a lot of them.
Well, which you can do. I shouldn't say shouldn't, but
yes, you shouldn't. I'm not encouraging excess. I'm just saying that it's very low in alcohol. It's like a nice, refreshing afternoony thing.
I would like to challenge you, though, one day. I'll drink Spogs and you drink Negronis and see if we can keep up.
Oh, I will be under the table in a minute. I mean, Negronis are just like pure aggression. Do you know what I mean? Like maximum, as Ryan Reynolds will say, as your fellow Canadian, Ryan Reynolds will say, maximum effort Negroni. This is a nicer, easier way in. We've had this served all kinds of ways, but this is my favorite kind of way, which is like in a big wine glass with ice. And Emily, tell everybody, Emily is making do with what she has in quarantine. So I'm gonna get ice while she tells you what she's making hers with.
What I like to call the basement version of things, which means you get any cup you want. Straw, it'll do. It's plastic because, you know, the environment, and also it doesn't break. Here we go. You always need your Campari.
Yeah.
Here's the twist. A very, what's the, vermouth?
Yeah, vermouth. I think the one with the red cap.
I partial to white vermouth, but you're right, it is a red cap kind of thing. Yeah. And then a rosé.
I gotta tell you something. Bubbly rosé, I think, first of all, I love rosé so much, and that is the prettiest bottle of rosé I've ever seen. But rosé bubbles make a killer Sbagliato. That's my favorite way to make it, actually. It has some like, I know I sound like a ding dong, but it has like some more complexity. Do you know what I mean, with the rosé than with the regular bubbles? I'm making mine with Campari. This is the baseline requirement. Campari Antique vermouth, which is my favorite vermouth. That's and a new bottle here because we've been using a lot of vermouth in these happy hours. And this is my favorite thing. I have some gay wine. This is a very special edition of house wine, and it's supporting LGBTQ rights efforts. For every can that you buy, they are donating $2 to the Human Rights Campaign, which is an organization that advocates on behalf of LGBTQ rights and specifically also marriage equality. So I love this can because it's just so beautiful. And I'm excited that I just get to do multiple charity, like I get to drink for a cause. It's like what this happy hour is all about. Okay, so everybody, here's the great thing about this drink. The proportions are a little different than a Negroni, in my opinion. Sometimes if you order it, they'll go 1, 1, 1, like we've done before with regular Negroni, like 1 measure Campari, 1 measure vermouth, 1 measure gin. But for this one, you need 2 measures of the bubbles to really make this a big, juicy, delicious drink. And you can eyeball it because it's a very forgiving drink. You know what I mean? You can just kind of go like, that seems about 1/3 and 1/3. I'm gonna measure it because I'm trying to lead by example. But you can just go, typically at home, I just go like, burp, burp, and then I just fill it up with bubbles.
Lead by example, he says. I've seen her pour drinks with a blindfold on.
I mean, I'm a purveyor of joy, guys. That is why I was put on this earth, to convey happiness and occasionally make fun of my friends in bars. But I take as good as I give. I'm excited, like I said, without divulging anything about where you're located, that you're in your happy place and you get to be in the ocean and you get to be with Ophi.
I'm in my happy place. I'm with my mom and family. If you ever hear yelling or a dog, that is not us socializing. That is us being family.
That is just the way that you interact. I've met your family and I love them very much. So please tell them that I said hi.
Oh, they say hi. They're actually at a social distance happy hour right now, just across the road. I think they're at the end of the driveway, and then other people are.
So cute. I want so much more of that. I want that. Like I've been trying to persuade my friends that live like close to us in LA to like come and just bring like folding chairs and like sit in the street.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fine. Everybody's on a different like spectrum with this whole thing. Like some people are like, it's fine, we can hang out as long as we're 6 feet apart. And some people are like, I'm never seeing you again. I'm working hard not to take that personally, but so you got it. Yeah, you're eyeballing it. What a pretty cup too.
Yes, it's plastic.
It looks like a beautiful Italian glass. Yes.
Well, yes, as you know, I am a countess and I only drink out of the finest plastic.
Finest plastic.
Finest plastic. Here I was saying, like, I was like, oh, and the straw is plastic too, because you know the environment. And then I was like, it's still plastic.
It's still plastic.
Like, where do I get off? Oh my God.
We're all doing our best. Now, here's something about canned bubbles. You keep going. Here's something about canned bubbles. I love Sbagliatos, but you don't need a lot of champagne or bubbles to make a Sbagliato. And what happens is I would open a big bottle, I would put the little champagne capper on them, and then after 2 days, the bottle would be flat. And, so now I do these cans because it's not as much. You don't ruin a whole bottle of champagne when you just want to use a little bit for your drink, and you're more likely to finish it. If you don't finish it, the amount that you throw out is not going to be like devastating. All right, so that's I eyeballed that last bit.
In that scenario, you could also just drink the whole bottle of champagne, and then it doesn't go flat. I promise you.
That is additionally another way that I could go, and then not gonna say that I haven't done that many times. So I eyeballed it. It was 2 ounces, and like I said, just 2 measures, so 2 ounces each of Campari and vermouth. And then I just eyeballed 4 ounces of bubbles, and that looks beautiful. And then, just kind of swirl it around. You want it to mix. And then this thing looks like a spritz, and it's nice when it's served like a spritz. So, the big wine glass with lots of ice, and then a slice of orange. Now, if you guys were with me, I think that I did spritzes.
Oh my God.
And I made my spritz, and then I was chatting with my guest. I think it might have been Stephen and Cassandra. And I said in the middle of it, oh, I forgot I hate spritzes. Because
you're not a fan.
Well, the spritzes are just bubbles and Campari and water. And so to me, they don't really have like any base. You know what I mean? Like there's no they got no booty. What's great about this is the vermouth makes it much more complex and delicious. But it looks like a spritz, but it tastes a lot better than a spritz. So that's, if you love spritzes out there, I don't feel judged. Everybody feels like sing. I love you. Cheers.
I miss you.
Dearest friend who's so far away. That's so nice. So here's a game we were playing today. But Barbie gets them too. Barbie's just happy.
No.
Barbie's happy for conversation.
I was trying to get your own drink, but
we'll answer a few questions before we run out of time. But one I was going to ask you, like we do a lot of traveling. We both love to travel, and we've traveled together quite a bit. We've gone all over. It's so good, right?
Oh, that's good.
Oh yeah. So delicious. If you like bitter things, this is great. But the bubbles really kind of mediate the bitterness a little bit. It's really balanced and tasty.
Oh, this is just, it makes me feel like you're here. The taste of this reminds me of
this is our drink. This is absolutely our drink.
in every way possible.
In every way possible. So we've traveled a lot together. Emily and I, we've been to Peru and London and Paris and New York. And obviously we've been to Vancouver. Where else have we gone together?
In Latvia.
Mm-hmm. In Latvia and then back to Paris immediately.
Lots around the States, like a lot of the States.
Austin and yeah, you know, Palm Springs, Coachella. And, yeah, we've done lots of stuff.
Yeah, we haven't done anything more in South America together, have we?
No, we need to go back to South America. But tell me, because this is the game we are playing this afternoon. Where is, like, what place are you fantasizing about to go to when we can be outdoor kids again?
Well, so you know me, I'm always on a backpack hunt. I am planning on doing the O Trek in Patagonia. So that'll be my next.
So tell everybody what that is.
So it is the longer route of the W Trek, which is down in Patagonia. You fly into Santiago, and then I'm going to butcher this name, Puerto Natales, I think. I haven't actually heard anybody say it because I do all this research alone, and then I'm like, I'm going to It's really fun to learn.
Seems like it's just that's what it should sound like. Yeah.
Yeah, and so you hike this beautiful trail, and it's in the shape of an O. That's why it's called the O Trek. It's about 8 days. The eclipse is on December 15th. That's a hope. Obviously, it could be a total pipe dream, and I'll be still here with Barbie drinking Spagliatos for most of.
Barbie's gonna miss you when you go, whenever that is.
Well, I might bring her. She'll fit in the bag, and she's not.
She would be a really good backpacking companion, and she would also scare people away from you because if you had her on your backpack, people would see that clearly this person is what could crack at any moment and mentally and leap at me.
Hike if she, had her body proportions right, but since her tits are so big and her hips are so small, she can't do anything. Which is like,
no, it's walking on tiptoe. It's really hard to hike on tiptoe.
Oh, it's hard to hike.
I would love to go back to South America. When we went to Peru and we went to Machu Picchu, and I only got to hike on the Inca Trail for like a day, and I'd love to do like a longer, like a real long.
Anthony and I did the Salcantay, which is a difficult trek, but it is awesome. I think it's still my favorite trek.
Is that the one that you did already?
The one we did, yeah.
There's another place in Peru that looks like Machu Picchu, but it's much more remote, and because of that, very few people go, and that would be the dope one to do.
So I don't know if you can go there. I can't remember what it's called, but they kept that a secret for a very long time.
Yep.
And it was outed by mistake. So I'm not sure if you're allowed there. As far as I go, and obviously people online can correct me, and I did not hear about it until we had gotten back over like a year and a half.
I heard about it like a year after we went.
But Peru's huge, and Peru like still my favorite trip to date. I love that. I love that place. I loved everywhere we went. I love the food. I love the people. I mean, we drank Spagliatos there. We were drinking a lot of pisco sours.
Spagliatos there. We had a pisco sour everywhere we went, and we had like the purple corn pisco sour, and I ate. Sorry guys, I ate guinea pig, which is you want to say delicacy, but it's not a delicacy. Like it's like chicken. It's like their chicken.
It is.
And I felt like when in Rome, you should eat guinea pig. It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it was fine.
I don't know if I would do that again. I mean, I eat meat. I eat a lot of vegan options as well, but I do eat meat. And I do remember the guinea pig to be not my favorite, but also not too bad.
And also, the butchering behaviors are different in different countries, right? So like America, we're really used to things being very sanitized. Like there's nothing remaining on an item of food that links it to what it was when it was alive, right? Like the fish is filleted, all the skin is gone, no bones, no face. You get the meat and it's cut down a little cutlet. But when you get the guinea pig, the face and the little claws are still on it, and it is looking up at you in judgment.
Yep, and it wasn't judgment, but that, it also made you realize, I think, it grounds you a little bit.
It does, it really does. You're like, I made this choice, and I'm living with it. So yeah, I've been fantasizing a lot. About where to go. There's a million places I want to go in South America, but I also want to go to Iceland really bad. You've already done that.
I thought we went to Iceland together. I was going to say that, and then I was like, oh, that was dumb. Yeah, I guess we didn't. I love Iceland. Iceland's super interesting because everywhere you go there has so much energy. Like the place is charged. It's charged. Like anywhere you're at there, you're just like, oh, this is amazing. Um, I had an NDE in Iceland. I mean, I pretty much have an NDE pretty much anywhere we travel, a near death experience. So I feel like so careful.
Well, you had an NDE when you went to was it Chile?
No, Nicaragua. Yeah.
Nicaragua.
Peru, yes. Yeah. I mean, I feel like if you're not NDEing, you're not really traveling.
On the one hand, I see you, but on the other hand, no.
I'm getting older now, so I feel like maybe I don't want to do some of these.
Right, it's like your like existential fright. What was the NDE that you had in Iceland?
Well, I had rented a car. I went there by myself, which was funny because I also thought when we were talking that you went with me, but I always feel like you're with me, so there's that part in that, sweet angel. But I had rented a car from Reykjavik, and I wanted to go to the Black Sand beaches where they filmed. I think they filmed part of Star Wars there, actually. And it was about like a 3.5 hour drive, and I could have kept going. And I was like, that day, I was like, no, like I just want to go to this beach and see all these things along the way, and then I'll come back to my hostel and I'll just like chill out. Anyway, on the way there was only 3 hours of daylight at that time. I think it was January. So, and 3 hours is like a little bit of a give. It's like 11 a.m. It's still kind of dark and you're getting sun. And then like 1 or 2 p.m. it's going down. So you're kind of,
right.
So I went when it was dark and I was coming back when it was dark. But when I went there, it was like green and lush. And then when I was coming back, it was a full blizzard, like full on snowstorm.
Oh, wow.
I'm from Canada. We can do that stuff. But one-way streets, semi-trucks coming the other way, windshield wiper broken. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, no, that's terrifying. And like not your country. So like, I think under any circumstances, you'd be like, I know what to do, or I know who to call. But like, you know, I'm sure someone from Iceland is going to at me terribly, but like, I feel like what I've heard is that like there's Reykjavik, and then there's not really any other cities on that island.
There isn't
villages, kind of, right?
Yeah, there isn't. I mean, I am not from there. I have friends that are from there, but there isn't much. Like Reykjavik is beautiful, and it's got like a lot going on. But as soon as you start driving outside of it, like it's really like the place is all about the nature and like what you can discover there by yourself and about yourself. Like that's really what it's, what the culture is about there. And you can camp and go around all around it. Like there are places you can go. I stayed at a really, really isolated hotel when I first got there before I moved to my hostel, and like that was beautiful, but very isolated, which is great. I did a lot of writing, but other than that.
Yeah, it's that kind of peace that you get with like a lot of time to yourself. It's very
like now. Would you say now you're getting that kind of peace?
Well, I'm going crazy now. I'm losing my mind now. But like I imagine going to Iceland for a couple of weeks and it would feel really good. But right now, no, I'm absolutely loopy. The other place I'm
after we got back from Peru.
What's that?
We went there right after we got back from Peru. That's
right. You went to Iceland and I went to Paris.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we broke out in different directions.
We broke up.
We just separated. We were on a break. It's fine. It's fine. And then the other place I really want to go the next year, I want to go to Asia. I want to go to like Vietnam, Thailand, Laos, and Cambodia. And then I also really want to go to, we had a big plan to go to South Africa this summer, which I don't think we're going to be able to do. I mean, I feel like 2020 is just like canceled, guys.
I thought we were planning to go to Vietnam, but but also,
Yeah.
Now we just present, Santosha, just let it happen, what's going to happen next? You don't know. Take care of your local community.
Just be present, right? And not to be living in fear, and to be celebrating all of the things that are making these moments comfortable. The fact that we have the internet and we can see our beloved friends, even though they're thousands and thousands of miles away.
Isn't that crazy?
And we have the wherewithal to make a yummy drink. And I mean, this is, have you heard that quote? It's like a sci-fi quote. It might be Bradbury or Heinlein or one of a sci-fi writer who said, I don't want to get this wrong. So somebody in the chat will know the answer to this. Science sufficiently advanced is indecipherable from magic, or indivisible from magic, or
Orwell?
That's a good guess. I'm so hoping that somebody in the chat is going to nail this for me, because I don't even think I got the quote quite right. But it is like how comfortable we've gotten with pretty extraordinary technology that is really new. Like how quickly we get accustomed to things that like didn't exist just a couple of years ago, and we're so casual. Like you're thousands of miles away, and I could see you and we're talking. And I remember the first time I showed my mom FaceTime. Her face literally was like, "What is this?" I mean, it was like straight like Star Trek,
Yeah.
And it's accelerating all the time, and it makes at least some of this like feel a little bit more tolerable. You
No,
know?
it's true. I hesitate. So I'm someone that pulls away from technology quite often.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that, and for reasons that I'm still discovering, I'm not sure, but this is like actually helping me with that, I'd say. And there's something like this that is so beautiful, being able to have conversations with you and over FaceTime, because I would always be like, well, I'll just see you in like I don't want to I don't want to do this.
I don't want to do this because we're going to see each other together. We're going to be together. Someone's saying that it's Clarke's third law. It is science indistinguishable from magic, but I think it's the whole phrase is science sufficiently advanced or fully advanced is indistinguishable from magic.
It's true, because what you can't grasp now, like what is so transcendent now,
Mm-hmm.
it's graspable, was magic at some point.
Yeah, yeah. And the things that are graspable kind of, continually like expand and increase. But in the end, I mean, what's great about technology, or what can be great, is just that it like makes our lives better, hopefully kinder and more tolerable.
Anton and I were in Cuba maybe 7 or 8 years ago, and Cuba didn't have great access to Wi-Fi yet. And
Mm-hmm.
I think within the days we were there, because we were there around Christmas, people started getting access to Wi-Fi, in terms of like you can call your family and you can use FaceTime and things like that. Though I don't think FaceTime was that large there yet. But I remember all locals sitting in parks, and parks were what had Wi-Fi. Like that's where you could get it. And Christmas Day, like you best know that first time you had Wi-Fi on Christmas Day, families just poured into these parks talking to their families and wherever they were. It was unbelievable. I mean, our wife.
Also, going to Cuba is like going back in time, because like think about it. Like I remember you and I talked while you were there, and you were like, "We can't. There's no internet here, so you can't get money out of the bank because they can't wire your bank to see if there's money.
Yeah.
You can't get any money out of the bank."
Santa and I had like 3. I think they're called cukes there, because what is it in Peru? Okay, so the dollar, like we had like maybe like 250, and I like really needed coffee, and Fanta doesn't drink coffee, and I was like, hey, can I please buy a coffee today? And it was like a whole cuke, and that's like all we had for the day, because the it was down for all of
down, like the internet was just down, which we're so accustomed to the internet never going down here. And you went to another country, and it's like 40 years ago there, and they've just got like basic general public Wi-Fi in a few places.
The best part of it. Oh my
I just remember you were like, we can't buy anything, we can't get any money, we're just stuck in this hotel. Like you could just only be in the hotel because you had a credit card down there.
And like people just wanted to help us anyway. They're like, you guys look fun, you want to ride a horse? We're like, okay. Fanta's like, I've never done that, we got to do it. I was like, yeah, we got to do it.
In America, if some guy came up to you and was like, do you want to ride a horse? You'd be like, sir, I will mace you and your horse.
What horse? Is horse
I don't see a horse. What horse are you talking about?
My pepper spray.
Exactly. I'm going to spice you, and I'm going to spice your horse.
Oh, do you have a horse?
Let's see. Everyone's just been saying lots of lovely things. Lara says, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. And everyone is saying that's Arthur C. Clarke. And it's Clarke's 3 laws, which are not the same things as the 3 laws of robotics, guys. And I feel like it's Clarke's 3 laws, which are not the same things as the 3 laws of robotics, guys.
Oh.
Well, that was exciting. What just happened?
Oh, that's me. Oops. Okay. Blame Barbie.
Yeah.
It was like, came up, it was like view live streaming service, and I was like, what is that?
Oh yeah, I was telling you where you were. Like I know, people have been coming to this from the beginning. When I first moved over from IG to Zoom, so I could like have more than one person at a time. Yeah. The very first time I did it, I was so anxious that I went on like super early, and they just watched me like do a lot of like. And just talking to myself for like 15 minutes. And they're like, Aisha, you're on. And I was like, okay, how do I click? Like it's been a learning curve for me, and that's fine. I like learning and growing. And that's good. We have lots of
every day.
All across the world, which is great. People say there's not been any questions. There's just been like, hey, come to London, hey, come to Austria, come to the Philippines.
Hit us with the hard questions. I'm prepared for this. I've been waiting all the quarantine.
Honduras, lots of compliments telling you that they love you. Franny says that what I was just doing was basically her Tuesday staff meetings. One question here is, Emily, like, what are you working on creatively? And I will say that Emily is always writing and creating. Like she's a really active artist, which I really admire. Like she's always doing stuff. She's been writing a lot of sketches and they're really, really funny and cool. So I've been reading those.
They're so weird.
I love them. And also I loved how like, professional isn't the right word. I loved how high concept they were. Like they were very high concept sketches, like with big ideas. Like I just be writing like, you know, fart, fart, bird. They were like very elegant. So what are you excited about? And obviously a lot of our plans have kind of been put on hold, but what are you excited about creatively?
Well, you know, the thing is that yes, comedy is like my heart, and my working with my friends is a huge benefit to where I want to put my future. But theater is where my heart lies, and that's not coming back anytime soon. So I think about it a lot. I'm in classes all the time studying theater, so that's sort of where like my passion gets opened up. But
you know what could come back? Probably you could start something is Shakespeare in the Park kind of a vibe where there's a stage production. I remember seeing Shakespeare in the Park in New York years ago, and actors weren't particularly intimate. You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of speeches, so they were kind of far apart, and then everybody else was sitting outside. And that's the kind of thing that could probably come back first.
Just have like all of these plays, and we'll just call it a side. So every character has just does their monologues.
Exactly. We're just speeches, and the next person's speeches.
Oh, yeah,
yes, to be or not to be, and then the other person's gonna be like way over there.
I'm mostly just convincing all my friends that they need to work with me now, like not in a, you know, not one-on-one, but like with all of us together, and then seeing what lands. Yeah. I mean, Aisha and I think about projects every day, but then we drink Spagliatos, and then by the time we wake up, it's just a whole round.
You know what our project is?
Love.
Love. That's our primary project.
You say that at the same time?
Yeah, it's nice.
You still got it, girl.
So Poopily, guys, we have to go. This was a shorty because we have to go over and do a tech check for Sally says if you return to Peru, I will give you a baby alpaca, which is a very enticing offer.
Now, is it a small alpaca that's been birthed, or is it a human dressed in an alpaca costume?
Or is it an alpaca doll?
Like, an alpaca doll.
So cute.
You could fuck me up a lot with this shit, because if I'm coming down there to get like a baby alpaca and you give me a child, I'll be really pissed.
Yeah, we'll yeah, and also we'll call the authorities. This is the shortest one we've done, but we have to go because we'll
do a part two.
Let's do a part two. Oh, I would love that. I'd love
your second favorite drink.
We'll
drink our second favorite drink.
Second favorite drink. Oh, it's a spicy margarita. Oh my God, yes! We'll do that. So I'm very excited about that. So we'll pick a day. Everybody, if you want to watch us play games, it'll be me and Emily and Steven and Cassandra on the Jackbox games on all platforms: Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Mixer.
We'll Barbie.
6 o'clock. Barbie's going to be there. Emily's got a plan. I'm really excited to see it. I have no idea what it's going to look like, but I'm looking forward to it. And until then, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. The charity is the International Rescue Committee. The website is rescue.org. And you can look on my platforms. It's on all of my posts. And don't forget, if you need resources, if you are in crisis and you need resources related to COVID, 211.org in America is the resource website. 211.ca is the resource website in Canada. And if you can give, any amount makes a difference in someone else's life who's a little bit more vulnerable than you are. And thanks for spending this time with me. If you're isolated or unsure, reach out to somebody close to you, because everybody's feeling a little crazy, and we're all getting a little crazier the longer we're indoors. So reach out to someone. Don't sit in your house drinking Spagliatos and feeling sad. Reach out to someone who loves you, because that person really does love you and they want to hear from you. Thanks, everybody.
We love you.
For hanging out. CourageandStone.com if you want to get cocktails sent to you directly at your house by a magical owl, and 30% of everything we make is going to the U.S. Bartenders Guild to support out-of-work bartenders. So CourageandStone.com. Thanks, guys. Bye. I love you. See you in a minute. Mwah.